Hey everybody, Danny Mod here. Thanks for joining us. This week I am super excited because I'm going to give you two of my most popular drills that I've basically been helping golfers over the last 12 months. One is the Catapult Method. I'm going to show you how you apply the Catapult Method to generate stacks of power with your driving. It's been viewed almost 1 million times now, and the amount of people that have added, been saying on through the comment section, been added, saying that added 25, 30, 45 yards to their drives has been incredible. So the other thing I want to add to this is obviously we want to hit it not just long, we want to hit it straight. So I'm going to also show you as a bonus today exactly how we use that Catapult Method and also square out the club face at the same time. But before we do, I've got a couple of things to announce. If you're new to the channel and this is one of your first videos, consider subscribing. I release content like this every week to try and help you improve your game. And the second thing is, look, we're just about hopefully to hit 100,000 subscribers, which is just mind-boggling. Certainly wasn't expecting that whatsoever. And as a massive thank you, what I'm going to do when we hit 100,000 subscribers, I've got a little giveaway. And for any of you who are on my email list, I'm going to email out a 4-part video series on driving and driving alone. So for accuracy, distance, you name it. All right, it's going to be launched in middle of 2019. It's actually going to be a paid course, but for those of you who are on my email list, you're going to get it completely free of charge. If you're not on my email list, head on over to dannymod.com. Just subscribe there. There's absolutely no cost. If you're on the email list, you will get the video series. We'll probably have to close the doors when we reach maybe 110,000, but look, if you're on the list, I'm happy to give it to you absolutely free. So let's get cracking in this training. So what is the Catapult Method and how can it help you generate speed? So basically what it is I was out with the kids a while back at a castle, and I saw these things and I found it, someone actually corrected me on this, they're actually trebuchets, these massive trebuchets firing these boulders, and they were obviously incredibly powerful. And I thought, you know what? I actually do something very similar when I'm coaching. When I'm coaching clients and trying to generate speed, I actually help them feel this almost like catapult into the golf ball. And that's what I want to share with you today. So what is the catapult? Well, when people are generating power, what I'm finding that they're doing a lot of the time is that they're swinging back, and what they're trying to do is they're often trying to muscle the ball. They're either trying to follow through and they're trying to maybe drive through the shot here. But what they're not trying to do is use club head speed. They're almost using more body speed. So the power and momentum is generally going this way, when actually what we want to do is we want to get the club releasing and catapulting forward. Let me show you what that basically means. So a catapult is when this is like a lever here. So what we want, when the club wants to come up here, we need to catapult it this way. That's how we generate speed, right? But what a lot of people are doing is they're dragging it. Right, so what they're doing, they're pushing it forward. So they're not getting any real speed with this, they're only pushing it. Now, you can play golf like that, and you can move a ball forward, but you know the guys who are knocking it 30, 40, 50 yards past you, they're doing something different. Well, this is part of it. So what I want you to do is we need to learn how to create this and learn the feel of it. So I mentioned in one of my previous videos, where I actually go into detail on the Catapult Method, which I put up here. You've got to have a reasonably soft grip, and you've got to get the feeling of when you're coming through here that the club is literally releasing. It's literally releasing through. It's catapulting through to generate speed. That is it. Now, one of the key factors, and a few people questioned it on the video, is that, well, if you are releasing the club here a little bit early, surely that is casting. And kind of it was slightly misinterpreted. The thing of what we're doing here is what we're actually doing is when you've cocked your wrists here, we've got what's called an uncocking. So one of the key factors and the misinterpretation, I would say, in the release pattern is that a lot of people feel like you need to, in a sense, release a club past the hands here through impact, and that's definitely what we need. In order to strike a golf ball, what we want to do is it's basically an unhinging of the wrists. That is actually the release. So the wrists are coming up here, and the release of a golf club is actually the unhinging of those wrists, or the extension of those wrists. So the question is, and this is how we link in the accuracy and the catapult together, what we want to be able to do here is as we swing back and we're starting to set those wrists here, one of the key components is we want to drive the club down, and there's an uncocking of the wrists here. And then look at this, as the wrists uncock, it is a fire. Now, the great thing about this, I'll show you from this angle here, as the wrists are cocking, there's no roll of the wrists, they're simply just uncocking through into impact. Most people, when they're swinging, will roll their hands around and roll their hands around here, leaving a very unstable club face. So if you use the catapult method with a rolling of the wrists, it won't work. We want to, again, yes, get the club catapulting through, but we need to understand that in order to keep it straight, what we have is this. The club hinges up here, and there's an unhinge. There's no roll in this motion. Look at this. There's no, when I move my wrist back and through here, there's no roll as I go up. It's just a hinge up and a hinge down. So let's have a look at this in action. So we're swinging back here. There's a hinge of the wrists. We're unhinging those wrists here. And what we're going to do is we must let fly. What we can't have here is this. We can't have you being too delicate here. We've got to let the club here literally catapult. So it's an unhinging as I come through here. Let's have a look at this. So, swinging back, and an unhinge as we drive through that shot, okay? There's a huge commitment to that. Now, a couple of things just to kind of enhance this just a little bit more. So we've got, remember, we've got the catapult. We've got to let this club fly. We've got to work out now how we keep it straight on the way. We said, look, we need to understand how the wrists hinge and unhinge to do this. The wrists hinge up and the wrists hinge down. They don't roll, they come up and they unhinge. So notice this, a lot of people here, they're hanging on for dear life too much. They don't unhinge early enough, and what tends to happen here is this. They get stuck around here, they get stuck inside and they're having to flip it. Or they hang on, and rather than a natural unhinge here, what they tend to do is they swing around the corner. So when we get to the backswing here, we want to get that sensation here of the correct wrist hinge. Now, let me show you one key factor with the hand path. When we're coming down here, I almost like saying it's like coming down the motorway. Or if you're in America, it's more like the highway. You're coming down here, and as you're coming down, the hand path is going down the road. Now, as we unhinge now, the hands exit the road here. It's like a little junction. What we're going to do here is we're going to literally unhinge, and we're exiting. The hands go left while the club continues to go straight. Let me show you that again. So swinging back here, the hinge is up. We're unhinging back down, we're going down the road, and we're unhinging on the way through. This is how you get the accuracy element of the catapult. Yes, you've got to eventually do this quite quickly, but it's quite nice to learn exactly how we keep that club face square. So let's look at it from both angles. I'll do another one from here, and then you can have a look from behind. So we're coming back, and we're really going to feel like we're catapulting here. You'll also notice here on a catapult, where does my body go? It goes backwards, it doesn't go forwards. We're actually firing through here. The body goes backwards to launch that ball straight up in the air. There we go. Let's have a look from behind. So let's have a look what's happening from here. So we said, look, from behind, we're moving the club back. There's a general wrist cock here. You'll notice there's no roll, there's a wrist cock here. Now, as they're coming through, the hands come down the road. They're coming down the road here, straight road. As they're uncocking, their hands, and as they uncock this way, they then exit the road. That is what gives you that lovely square contact on the way through. Apply that now with the basically the catapult on the way through, and hey presto, you have straight, massive drives. So what we're doing here is this. I'm loaded up, I'm getting myself set, so I'm winding it back here. I'm cocking those wrists, I'm driving down to here, I'm uncocking here, the hands are exiting the road, and I'm firing through up into the sky. Let's have a look at this. Not easy, I've got a lot of layers on, not easy to complete a backswing, but let's have a go. Really, really nice feeling. So let's summarize. What have we done? Basically, very, very important. We need to understand that in order to generate a lot of speed and power in the golf swing, we need to get a catapult effect. What we do not want to be doing here in any shape or form is trying to drive the ball forward with the body, trying to hit it this way. There's not enough speed there. We need this club to be speeding up on the way through. It's very, very important. With that in mind, what's happening as you're doing that? The club is going upwards, the body naturally goes backwards. It doesn't go forwards at all. It's driving here and then fires backwards. Now, a few people were worried when they were doing this, well, surely this will be casting. Casting is something that happens from the top of the swing. You've got to remember the club has to release at some stage. So the next thing we want to talk about is how we release. And we said, look, the release is basically a unhinging of the wrist. As the wrists come up, there's an extension. The wrists start to extend downwards. Most people try and release with a rod. We know we don't want that, it's too unstable. So we said, look, how do you do this? Well, it's understanding really the hand path in the golf swing. As the club hinges back and the hands come down the road here, you just got to remember that there's an exit point here through this motion. So we're coming back, we're going down the road, and there's an unhinging here as we go through. And that then gives you that lovely, accurate shot with the catapult. Hey presto, we got some long, straight drives. Look, I really, really hope you enjoy this training. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a member of the website, consider subscribing. And of course, don't forget the bonus. If you are, I want to really celebrate. I want to really thank everybody for being part of this community and helping us get to 100,000 subscribers. So if you're new to the community, head on over to dannymore.com, sign up for my standard weekly newsletter, and you will receive in about 3 weeks' time, or when we hit 100,000 subscribers, you will receive a 4-part video series on how to hit your drivers step by step. I'm usually going to charge $69 for this, but up to now, no, it's going to be free for you who are part of my weekly newsletter. So until next week, guys, have a great golfing week.